So in today's lesson, we're going to look at how we expand two brackets in algebra when dealing with expressions. This will be important for any of you sitting the higher tier exams such as M3 or M4. So in these types of questions, and I'll just look briefly at some of the examples I've done for you, we will have two sets of brackets side by side with terms within them, and we'll be asked to expand and simplify. And we're going to use a technique that's called FOIL. And FOIL helps us to remember how we do this and what order we multiply things in: first, outer, inner, and last. And I'll explain what each of those means. So when we expand, we're multiplying out, so we're going to multiply the terms first. So F stands for first, which means we multiply the first term in each bracket. So in this case, it's going to be x times x. So for F, we're doing x times x. I'll just label these for the first example as I go along. So x times x, and if you remember back to your basics, when we're multiplying terms in algebra, x times x is x squared, and that's important. And if you're a wee bit rusty on that, make sure to watch the videos on multiplying terms in algebra just to refresh your memory. Okay. O then stands for outer, so the outermost term in each bracket. So that means the x here and the 3 over here, the total opposites from each other. Okay, so x times 3, or 3 times x, which gives me 3x. And in this example, in this expression, everything's positive. So when we multiply everything out, everything is going to be positive in our answer. Okay, so that was O, the outermost terms. The next is I, which stands for inner, as in the innermost terms. So the two terms closest to each other in each bracket. So 2 times x, which is 2x, so plus 2x. And they're going to be the terms that we simplify later. Okay. And then L stands for last, as in the last term in each bracket. So the 2 times the 3 and 2 times 3 just gives me 6, so plus 6. So that's the expression I end up with so far when I've multiplied it. Remember, we're also asked to simplify. Now again, if you're a wee bit rusty on that, make sure to watch the previous videos on collecting like terms in algebra. When we talk about like terms, an x squared and an x isn't a like term, but the two x's in the middle are like terms, so we can do 3x plus 2x. 3x plus 2x is 5x. Okay, and then we bring everything else down, so we've got an x squared plus 5x plus 6. And remember, we're dealing with expressions, so that is as much as I can do with that question. Okay, moving on to the next example. And again, just to cover all bases, we're dealing with positives and negatives here. So just remember, and again, it's in our video where we looked at multiplying terms in algebra. When we multiply two positives, we get a positive. A positive times a negative gives us a negative. A negative times a positive gives us a negative. And two negatives multiplied together gives us a positive. Okay, so that's just a wee reminder of what we get when we multiply different signs in algebra. Okay, so back to the example. So first, a times a, the first term, is a squared. Outer, the outermost terms. Positive times a negative, so positive times a negative gives us a negative. So a times minus 5 is minus 5a. A positive times a positive here. Okay, remember, it's the sign in front, or if there's no sign then it is positive. It's the sign in front that dictates whether it's positive, so we're multiplying two positives. So 4 times a is positive 4a. And then the last terms, plus 4 times minus 5. Positive times a negative gives us a negative. So plus 4 times minus 5 is minus 20, because remember, we're multiplying everything here. Now we collect the like terms in the middle, just like we did above. Minus 5 plus 4, so if we have minus 5 and we're adding 4, remember that takes us up. Think of a number line, minus 5, adding 4, we're going up the way. That takes us to minus 1a, which is just minus a. And then we bring everything else down, the a squared minus a minus 20. Okay, and that's that example. Right, one more, just where we're dealing with different signs. Notice in this bracket we have two, in this example we have two negatives. But again, we just follow the same method. So first outer, inner, last. So the first term, 2b times 3b, so a positive times a positive is positive. So 2 times 3 is 6, 6, b times b, b squared. So 2b times 3b is 6b squared, okay? Outer, 2b times minus 6, so minus 6 times 2 is minus 12b. Okay, remember that's a positive times a negative, so we get a negative. We're doing a negative times a positive, so again that's going to be negative. So minus 3 times positive 3 is minus 9b. And then the last two terms, minus 3 times minus 6, just be careful, that is two negatives multiplied together, which gives us a positive. Minus 3 times minus 6 is plus 3 times 6, 18. And then last, of course, just collect the like terms in the middle. Minus 12, take away 9, think of a number 9, we're at minus 12 and we're going down by another 9. That takes us to minus 21b. And again, just bring everything else down. So we've got 6b squared minus 21b plus 18. Okay? So the best way to improve with these types of questions is plenty of practice. I will include some practice questions at the end of this video, and anything you're unsure about, as always, feel free to ask.